truly understand in which, he wanted at least us to provide training ground for our youth, our people, and bring that resources back.
I
It's
think,
tough. It's
yeah,
a great idea. Upward mobility. You start off as a cash register, then you become a supervisor, a shift supervisor, then you become the manager, and then you move up the ladder, and then hopefully you'll own a McDonald's, and then you'll, you know, provide jobs for other people.
yeah,
We hear it all the time. You can't complain if you're not creating. You can't
yeah.
complain at your job if you're because you're an employee. It's just one of those things. Like I said, I think he's really spot on because like you're right. He's right. If you want to make a change, upgrade your life, upgrade your skills, upgrade your abilities. Put yourself into a better position so now you're more educated, you're more rounded as a citizen, and then you can make changes.
So I'm thinking about this. I always trying to think about real time examples because the concept of the talented 10th, I do think is good in theory. Where we see that play out as it's practice in real time is like among, you know, those elite families, right? So when I think about Herman J. Russell and I think about his son Michael J. Russell, who, Herman J. Russell was, just a poor sharecropper. Well, I don't want to say sharecropper, but he was born and raised in Alabama, but he was poor, but he knew how to do sheetrock, right? And then from there, he built out a multi-million-dollar construction business in Atlanta. He laid the when you go to Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta, his company laid the pavement for the runways in Atlanta. When Maynard Jackson made it a rule that 10% of the city contracts had to go to black contractors, right? And so what we do see in those families is it works within those families, but what tends to happen, because what you're saying is right, it would work if those families stay rooted in community. But what
Mm-hmm.
happens is those families get the bag, you know what I'm saying, and then they up and out. So now they're really invested in the communities that they actually live in. Like those resources get poured into the schools out there, the recreation parks and all that other stuff out in the communities where they actually live, as opposed to, by the time they're looking to invest in the community that they came from, it's really just a philanthropic effort. There's no real commitment or investment there.
But
uh,
does it matter? Like, let's be
I
honest,
think
does
it
it matter?
does.
Because in the large scheme of things, you got to take care of your family.
No, 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 I'm not disagreeing with that. I
Yeah,
think
I'm just being a
no, no, no.
devil's
I'm not
advocate.
no, no. I agree with that, but here's the thing. Here's the key word to that. The key to it is um having, and this is the part we haven't mastered, but this is something since I've been back in Chicago that I've been preaching, because I'm in the sub, a lot of people that I went to school with that are fairly successful entrepreneurs here in Chicago. Um there a lot of them in the suburbs out here. I got some folk in Country Club Hills. I got some folk in Matson. I got some folk all in the suburbs. They moved off the block. I know some people that are still in the hood. The key to it is being able to invest in the community. And I think where the stumbling block for us is the economic basis for communities, like the way that your schools are tied to the tax money that you bring in. If you don't live in that community, even if you're doing significantly well, you're you're not tied to the tax base.
Yeah.
So the people that we leave in our communities, they still suffer because the tax burden is not high enough. So, like, I'll give you an example. Where I work at, there are three schools, right? There's a let's say there's an eBlack West, an eBlack Central, and an eBlack East. And all
Hmm.
these schools are within maybe a 10-mile radius of each other. They all look like college campuses, bro. Like they look like college. You hear what like college,
Yeah, I get it.
sprawling college campuses, football fields right there, right? So like where I went to school, the stadium, our football stadium was across the
We had to
street, but guess
share them.
what?
Man,
Everybody, it's not just ours. I mean, we the school directly across from it, but it's everybody's stadium.
Yeah.
Nah, the eBlack West, the eBlack Central, the eBlack East, they got their own joint, and it looked like sometimes when I'm leaving work and I drive by Central, they got it's just crazy. They got this light beam that shines up, and these jokers got their own bobbleheads, plush that they sell around homecoming. It's like a whole college experience. And that's because the economic base there is rooted in that community,
I
right? If you
agree.
go to the police department looks like man, shoot, looks amazing.
Realist, came,
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Court?
Court said hello.
What's up, lady? Big
But no,
crybaby.
no, you're absolutely right. You know, the way that taxes are distributed or is directly
Yeah.
in the upward mobility kind of way of thinking. You know, you upward mobility out your hood, you end up investing in another community.
Yep.
I think this is probably a little. I don't want to say dated, but I think there was a time in segregation in which if that was to happen, you would, even no matter how much you worked, you were still regulated to a small segment of the world. So I think
Sure.
this is part of. I think this was part of the argument that kind of said, you know what, this was our time. Black people who lived in black neighborhoods, whether it was doctors or whatever, there was no white black slash neighborhoods. There was black or
No.
white neighborhoods. So when you had a black doctor, the black doctor contributed directly towards the
Mm-hmm.
base. But I think it's a great conversation in terms of how he kind of believed that should work.